Guys, this video is going to be for Mr. Ronald. This is a Carl-Built 400 HD 4 standard 2879s. Going to be driving it with the RFX 29. Now at the end of the video, I'll show you guys what this thing's doing because I have put the high power cord on it, the heavy duty power cord, 8 gauge power cord. So I'm expecting that the power has came up on it a little bit. Excuse me, and I haven't checked it for a reference since I did that. Roughly, I'm going to say about 35, 40 watts average. It may be doing a little bit more. I think it did 35 on the dot before, but since we've had the power cord, it may have came up. Probably around 100 watts PEP, give or take. I do have one more of these available for anybody that's wondering. Just shoot me a text, 423-299-3535, and we'll hook you up with that if you like the way this thing runs. Really great for Striker 955s, 655s, 447s, and a host of other radios, but those are the big ones that people like running into these. Of course, anything else in the same kind of power output as those radios will work fine. We're going to turn our voltage down. Not that the amp won't handle 14.9, but just for the sake of the video, we'll crank it down just a little bit. We'll do 14.7, so somewhere in between 14.5 and 15. That's probably a fair test voltage to test it at. We will set our dead key first. That's about 125 watt dead key, which will be fine for what we're doing here. Probably where I'd run it. Of course, you can run them less if you're going to get real long-winded. But just normal talking, around 100, 125 watt dead key should be good to go. Audio. That real deep tone makes it draw a little bit more power, so we know it's probably going to show more average power that way. But about 52 amps the way we're drawing it now, or way we're driving it now. It can draw more than that, but that's just kind of loafing it along here. And come over here to our bird meter. We're going to be looking at the bottom scale, 1,000 watt slug. Hello, audio. So that deep audio gets it up to about 400. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Audio check 1, 2, 3. Audio. And just talking into it normal, 300 plus. Average power, again, I always tell people, when you're doing average power to kind of max it out, you're, testing how much something's going to draw or the max it can do. It's really tone dependent on your voice. So lower tones, higher tones, just depends on the radio, the amp, everything else, it can show more or less. PEP, we're still going to be looking at the bottom scale. So this is your peak output power. Check audio 1, 2, 3, audio 1, 2, 3, audio. So audio in 900 and audio check 1, 2, 3, audio check 1, 2, 3, audio 1, 2, 3, audio. Talking about 850, 875. So this thing's running good, and these are really popular amp, guys. You can use them for a lot of stuff. You don't have to drive them as hard as we're driving it. Not that we're maxing it out or anything, but you can take a 50 or 60 watt radio and run into these. And generally they'll do, 600, 750 watts all day long. Now you want to get the maximum output out of them. You have to start running, 90, 100, 110 watts or so into them. I try to stay below 125 PEP going into these. People have put up to like 140 or so in and been okay. But myself, if it was me running something like this, or the Striker 955, 655s, stuff like that, the all-the-way ones, modded up. They run good with them, but you start getting up there to like a Galaxy 47 or the HP 40s and stuff like that. I would probably start considering going to a 6-pill, but that's just me. A lot of people out there running more than what I recommend into them and doing just fine, but that's just my recommendation. This one's nice and cool, so what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and turn it off, and we'll check and see what the radio's doing. We're going to need a 100 watt slug for that, so we're taking the 1,000 out. We're going to put the 100 in. That way we're looking at the same scale. Nothing's changed except the slug. Let's see how much we were keying into it. So that's about a 7 watt dead key. So just for reference for the customer, that's what we were dead keying into it to get that output. Now, does that mean when you get it on your setup that it's going to take the same? No. There's a lot of stuff that can factor into that. Depends on the voltage your power supply is running, the SWR, the impedance of your antenna, just different setups in general. You know, it may take 6 watts here, it may take 8 watts when it gets to the customer. You know, there's a lot of different stuff. But if you're running a Bird 43 like mine, somewhere probably between 6 and 9 watts, maybe 5 and 9 watts is where you'll want to put into this thing. I just would not exceed around 125, 150 watts or so. Probably stay in that area between 100 and 125. Now we want to check and see the output. Excuse me. The output. This is going to be average power. Audio. So it did bring it up some. Hello. Audio. I'm actually going to check that on the 50 as well after we do PEP. But 40 watts average is what we were putting into it. That's what this radio does. It did not do that before without this power cord. I think it did 35. Hello, audio check 1, 2, 3, and it's doing over 100 pretty handily here. So I think the power cord switch definitely helped this thing. Not to get too far off of a subject with our amp, but this power cord upgrade helped it a lot. Do a little marketing for my power cords while we're in this video. Oh, man. Let's check the 50 here. I think it did 35 on this one before. Now we're looking at the middle scale. This is average power. Hello. So a little bit over 40. All right, that's it, guys. RFX 29 and the Carl Belt 400 HD. Nice little combination here. Again, this is my personal one that I used to test stuff with. I would sell it, I guess, if somebody really wanted it, but it's awfully handy for me. So, nice run amp. Ronald, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate your patience, and get this thing out for you today. Got a 600 HD that we're going to be testing next. We'll just test it with the same radio. Nice running amp, guys. Carl Belt 400 HD. Everybody have a good one. Questions, comments, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. Rooster in Tennessee, roostercb.com. Everybody have a good one. See you, bye.